In a strict HOA luxury neighborhood, beauty is not nature. Beauty is a rule. Every house looks perfect. Every lawn is cut in straight lines like soldiers standing in attention. Every flower grows in measured shape because gardeners trim even the petals. Every smile is practiced in a mirror. Every greeting is cold wine wrapped in honey, and every person judges silently behind clean glass windows. In this neighborhood, what people show matters more than what people feel. What you wear matters more than who you are, and neighbors pretend to love each other while waiting for a chance to be higher than the next door. Inside this world of perfection and silent competition, a simple, kind woman named Maya arrived 1 year ago after her marriage to Daniel Sterling, a wealthy resident from an old family with roots deep inside the HOA power structure. Maya was not rich, not powerful, not shining like diamonds the Sterling family wears like skin. She was soft, educated, polite, coming from a middle-class life where love was the currency, not property, where families ate meals together instead of fighting for chairs at the head of the table. When she married Daniel, she believed marriage would be a new chapter of dreams. She believed her kindness would be welcome in her new home. She believed loving someone with all her heart was enough in any world. But the Sterling mansion was not a home built on love. It was a stage built on legacy, and the queen of that stage was Mrs. Victoria Sterling, Daniel's mother, a woman who controlled the house like a queen controls her kingdom, with rules, with reputation, with iron smiles that break hearts quietly. From the first day Maya moved in, she felt the coldness inside walls painted with warm colors. Mrs. Sterling watched every step Maya took, watched how she spoke to servants, watched how she held Daniel's hand, watched how she smiled at HOA events, and every time Maya did something natural, something real, something soft, Mrs. Sterling turned it into a weakness. "You smile too much," she once told her. In this house, smiles are power, not emotion. Maya learned to smile less. She learned to talk less. She learned to hide her dreams in silence because Mrs. Sterling believed dreams should be controlled by family tradition, not by the heart. Daniel was different before marriage. He was warm. He laughed loudly. He walked with Maya holding her hand in public parks. He promised a life filled with adventure, with travel, with 2 careers growing together like 2 trees planted side by side. But when he returned to the mansion, the air changed him. His mother's voice became a law inside his head, like he was still a child following orders, like he forgot he was a man now, a husband. He stopped laughing loud. He stopped walking outside the HOA walls. He stopped dreaming with Maya because dreams in this house belong to one woman only, Mrs. Sterling. 1 year passes like one long winter for Maya. Cold days shaped like expensive dinners. Cold nights shaped like empty conversations. Cold mornings shaped like polite smiles at the breakfast table where Mrs. Sterling sits like a judge wearing pearls instead of a robe. Maya tried to be perfect in this world of perfection. She learned how to place forks correctly, how to talk to rich neighbors about topics she never understood. Business mergers, property taxes, international schools. But her kindness was treated like weakness, her silence treated like stupidity, her honesty treated like danger. On the day of her and Daniel's first anniversary, Maya wakes early. She dresses simple, a soft light pink dress her mother gifted her at the wedding. She prepares lunch herself, ignoring the cook for today because she wants to show love through food. She places flowers on the table she picked from the small side garden where HOA rules allow flowers only in limited color shades. She imagines Daniel smiling when he sees her effort. She imagines Mrs. Sterling softening for one moment, seeing love instead of threat. She imagines a normal day where her heart can breathe without fear. But in the Sterling house, love is not currency. Love is a small coin that buys nothing. At noon, Mrs. Sterling enters the dining hall wearing a smile polished like metal. Daniel follows 2 steps behind like he is part of her shadow. Maya stands up, smiling, and says softly, "Happy anniversary." But Daniel does not reply with emotion. He replies with silence. His eyes moving away from her face like looking at her hurts him. Mrs. Sterling sits, places a silver box on the table like placing a bomb wrapped in ribbon. Her voice calm like she is offering dessert. "Happy anniversary, dear," she says to Maya, her tone dripping with sweetness the way poison sometimes tastes sweet. Maya's fingers shake slightly as she touches the box. She looks at Daniel for a hint, but he keeps his face expressionless like a wall. She opens the box slowly, expecting maybe jewelry, maybe a note, maybe something emotional after the cold year. Inside the box, neatly folded, printed clean like a business contract, is a packet of divorce papers. For a moment, Maya cannot see the words clearly. Her eyes blur with confusion. Her heart stops beating normally like her body forgot how to exist. Mrs. Sterling smiles with eyes that enjoy pain like art. This is your freedom, my dear. Our family believes in honesty. This marriage is a mistake. Ending it is the best gift. It feels like the entire room explodes in silence. Maya opens her mouth, but no voice comes. She looks at Daniel, the man who promised her love, the man who held her hand in parks, who kissed her forehead like future is beautiful. He stands still, no sorrow, no anger at his mother, no defense for his wife. His silence is betrayal sharper than any word. His eyes are full of nothing. Maya's hands shake harder. She drops the box lid on the table, the small noise sounding like thunder inside her heart. She tries to speak again, her voice tiny like a child's voice in a storm. Daniel, you want divorce? Daniel looks at the table, not her, and nods once, slow, controlled, like he rehearsed this moment in his mind many times. Maya's heart breaks like glass, pieces cutting her from inside. Her breath becomes heavy. Tears fill her eyes without permission. Tears that embarrass Mrs. Sterling because weakness is not allowed at the Sterling table. Mrs. Sterling reaches out and pushes a pen toward Maya slowly, like feeding a wounded animal. Sign. Today is perfect. The pen in front of Maya looks like a knife. Her fingers tremble. She tries to hold it, but her body refuses. She stands suddenly, the chair shaking behind her, and she walks away without a word, tears falling silently on the polished floor. She walks to the guest room, the room she stayed in for 1 year even though she was supposed to be the wife of the house, the queen of Daniel's life. The door closes behind her, and her body falls on the bed like her soul has no strength left to stand. She cries, not the loud kind of crying that breaks walls, but the quiet crying that breaks the heart silently. The crying someone does when they know nobody will comfort them. Nobody will hold their hand, nobody will fight for them. She cries into the pillow, her tears soaking the fabric like salt water soaking earth. She thinks about her parents, her friends, her dreams, her love, everything that died in one moment wrapped in a silver box. She cries until her head hurts, until her body shakes from exhaustion. Night falls, the house becomes quiet. Outside, the HOA streets glow under artificial lights like fake stars. Inside, Maya's room is dark except for the moon falling through the window blinds. She sits up slowly, eyes swollen, breath heavy. She sees the silver box still in her hands, the divorce papers lying like ghosts on her bed. She wipes her face, looking at the papers again, this time not through tears, but through disbelief. Her eyes scan the pages, legal terms, property separation, dates, signatures, all prepared before today. They planned this like a celebration. Something in Maya shifts. A small part of her that died today begins to return with a different shape. Not love, not trust, but courage. Her eyes move toward the drawer of the bedside table. She opens it quietly, looking for tissues, but instead she finds old documents, folded yellow papers, maybe stored by mistake. She picks them up slowly, curious, her fingers still shaking. The top paper looks old, ink faded but still readable. The heading makes her heart stop: property inheritance, Sterling mansion and land transfer. Her breath tightens. She reads line after line, her eyes moving fast now, heart beating like thunder. The document was signed by Daniel's grandfather, the original owner of the Sterling estate. It says, in the case of legal marriage, the property rights of this estate transfer not to the son, but to the grandson's legal wife, to protect women in this family from unfair treatment. Maya's mind explodes with shock. She reads again to make sure. Grandfather transferred full rights to the legal wife of his grandson. Her. Not Daniel. Not Mrs. Sterling. If she signs the divorce papers officially, the property, the mansion, the land, transfers to her, not Daniel. She looks at the bottom. The document is legally notarized, real, valid. She is not dreaming. The rule was made to protect a woman exactly like her. Maya closes her eyes, emotions colliding inside her. Sorrow, anger, betrayal, pain, but also a new feeling rising like a slow flame, power. Not revenge born from hate, but revenge born from truth. She sees the world differently now. She remembers how Mrs. Sterling smiled while giving the divorce papers, how Daniel stood silent like a stranger, how they saw her as weak, as nothing. They think she will break. But they don't know she has something more powerful than their cruelty: knowledge. If she plays this game quietly, she will win without shouting. She folds the document carefully, hides it inside her bag. She wipes her tears for the last time tonight. She stands in the dark room, looking at her reflection in the mirror, eyes red, cheeks wet, hair messy. But she does not see a broken woman anymore. She sees someone who can fight without noise, someone who can take back her dignity using their own rules, someone who can stand alone inside a house built to crush her. In the silence of the Sterling mansion, where even grief is supposed to be elegant, Maya makes a decision. She will not cry in front of them again. She will not sign anything today. She will wait for the right day, the day of final signing, with witnesses, with legal committee, with HOA board watching, the day Mrs. Sterling plans to celebrate her destruction. That day will be their downfall. Maya closes the drawer, turns off the light, and lies down slowly, not to sleep, but to plan. For the first time in months, she is not afraid of Mrs. Sterling's eyes. She whispers softly into the dark room like a promise to herself. You tried to end me, but you just gave me my beginning. Outside, the neighborhood sleeps under perfect lights. Inside, a quiet woman who everyone treated as decoration discovers she holds the keys to the house. They gifted her divorce papers. They never expected she would bring revolution to the signing table. Morning light touches the Sterling mansion gently like the world outside is soft, but inside the walls everything feels sharp. Everyone sleeps normally except one person, Maya. She lies awake in the guest room, eyes open since hours, mind working without rest, heart aching but beating with a new energy she never knew she had. Last night changed something inside her, not because she stopped loving Daniel, but because she finally understood he never stood between her and his mother, he stood with his mother against her. The betrayal is heavy, but the document she found is heavier, like a hidden door that opens into a future she never imagined. A future where the Sterling name becomes hers, not to destroy, but to protect the dignity she lost. When she wakes, her tears are dry on her skin, but her eyes are strong. She washes her face, wipes the mirror clean, and stares at her own reflection for long seconds, seeing a different woman. Not a soft girl who cries behind doors, not a woman begging for love, but someone who carries a secret that can break an empire of arrogance. Her hands still shake from yesterday, but the shaking comes with purpose now, not weakness. She walks into the kitchen early before the servants arrive, making tea like she did at her parents' house. Simple, warm, not like the expensive coffee the Sterlings drink like medicine. While stirring the cup, she hears footsteps on the stairs. Mrs. Sterling enters the kitchen wearing a silk robe, her expression more relaxed than yesterday, as if she slept peacefully after gifting divorce papers like perfume. She stops when she sees Maya, eyebrows raised, confused that Maya is not hiding, not broken, not begging. Maya turns politely, gives a soft smile, her voice calm, "Good morning." Mrs. Sterling studies her face, looking for signs of crying, signs of weakness, signs of surrender, but Maya hides everything behind a quiet look. Mrs. Sterling walks forward, pretending sweetness, her voice smooth. "You didn't sleep. I hope you are thinking wisely. Divorce is best for everyone. You are too simple for this family. We require strength." The insult is hidden in advice. Maya hears every knife behind every word, but she says nothing except, "Yes, I understand," and looks down to hide the small smile inside her heart, the smile of someone who knows something powerful. Mrs. Sterling looks satisfied with the answer. She thinks Maya has accepted defeat. She pats Maya's shoulder like a mother giving child permission to disappear, and goes to the dining hall. When Daniel enters, he doesn't look at Maya directly, he only asks, "Are you okay?" But his voice feels like a stranger in her home, soft, confused, afraid of hurting himself, not afraid of hurting her. Maya replies with the same calm energy, "Yes, I accept everything." The sentence is simple, cold, controlled. Daniel's eyes widen for a second like he didn't expect acceptance so easily. He glances at his mother. She smiles proudly, thinking she won. Maya walks away, leaving them confused. Her silence is no longer weak. It is deadly. The day continues like a normal day in the mansion. Expensive breakfast, polite words, servants moving like shadows, HOA neighbors visiting for fake compliments. But Maya's mind works like a machine now. Every step she takes is part of a plan. She goes to the study room, the place she never felt welcome before, and starts searching for more documents quietly while everyone is busy. She opens old drawers, boxes of papers, family files, careful not to leave marks. She finds bank records, renovation bills paid from HOA development funds, signatures from Daniel approving moves he never told her about, loan papers using the mansion name as guarantee, all things that can destroy Mrs. Sterling's image. She takes photographs of everything with her phone, shaking each time she hears footsteps outside the door. Every screenshot becomes a piece of proof. Every paper becomes a weapon. She writes notes in a small diary she hid inside her clothes, her heart beating like drum, her hands cold with fear, but her mind hot with purpose. She remembers her mother's words, "Silence is not weakness. Silence can be preparation." Now she understands. In the afternoon, Maya dresses and walks out of the mansion. The guards see her but say nothing. She goes to a small legal office outside the HOA where nobody from the neighborhood visits. The lawyer, a woman in her 40s, looks at Maya with curiosity, asking carefully, "How can I help you?" Maya shows the old property document. The lawyer's eyes widen slowly, surprise turning into shock, then into a smile full of admiration. "Do you know what this means?" Maya nods, her voice steady, "Yes. But nobody else knows." The lawyer leans forward, whispering, "If the divorce is signed at the official final meeting, the property becomes yours. The will bypasses Daniel, bypasses his mother. It was made to protect the wife from mistreatment." Maya's eyes burn with tears she holds back quietly. The lawyer studies her face and understands. This is not just about money, this is about dignity. She begins helping Maya gather everything legally. They plan timing, strategy, documents needed, witness requirements, everything. The lawyer tells Maya to act normal, to pretend she is weak until the signing day. Maya nods, taking a deep breath, adjusting her posture, becoming the old Maya again on the surface while hiding the new Maya underneath. She returns home at sunset. The mansion looks beautiful from outside, lights glowing, fountain water falling gently, flowers shining in golden shade. But Maya knows this beauty is a mask hiding rot, hiding lies, hiding cruelty. She walks inside quietly, passing the living room where Mrs. Sterling sits with HOA friends, laughing, drinking tea like she never harmed anyone. Maya hears one sentence that makes her heart freeze. After the divorce, Daniel will marry someone from an influential family. We will announce it soon at the HOA charity ball. Her mouth becomes dry. Daniel already has plans. The marriage was planned to end. Maya was used like a legal tool for something bigger. Nobody sees her standing near the door. Nobody hears her breath shaking. Nobody imagines she is listening. She slowly walks away, her face calm, her mind burning. At dinner, Daniel tries to speak kindly, his voice soft. "Maya, we don't want to hurt you. This is better for your life too." Maya looks into his eyes for the first time since yesterday, and says only one sentence, simple, without anger, but sharp like a blade made of sadness, "You already hurt me." Daniel lowers his eyes, guilt moving in his face for 1 second. But then his mother touches his hand under the table, reminding him of her control, and he becomes stone again. Later that night, Maya sits in her room alone. The divorce papers lie on the table in front of her. She flips through the pages, every sentence repeating the idea that she is being removed, erased, thrown away. She touches her wedding ring, remembering the day he placed it on her finger, the day he promised love. Now the ring feels cold, not warm. She removes it gently, places it on the paper. For a moment, she feels pain again. But then the memory of the old document burns inside her like light in darkness. She whispers to herself, "You think I am small. You don't know how big silence can be. She folds the divorce papers and places them back in the silver box, then hides the will document deep inside her clothes again. She does not cry now. She plans. She sees the future not as losing, but as transforming. She prepares every day, pretending sadness, pretending acceptance, while writing notes, saving files, recording small conversations secretly, not for revenge, but for justice. Days pass like this. The family relaxes, confident. Neighbors gossip louder, confident. Mrs. Sterling walks with more arrogance, confident. Daniel drinks wine calmly, confident. And Maya walks quietly, watching everything, recording their overconfidence in her mind like a camera. She visits the lawyer secretly 3 times, finalizing the strategy. The final signing will happen in the mansion dining hall in 7 days. HOA legal committee will be present, family witnesses too. The will can only be announced at the signing with signatures complete. That law is her weapon. Maya knows if she shows even 1 drop of bitterness before the signing, they will cancel the legal meeting. They will fix their mistake. They will hide everything. She must be perfect, silent, broken, controlled. On the 6th night, Maya sits at her desk, looking at the wedding photo on her phone. Her and Daniel smiling under flower lights, his eyes full of love that maybe never existed. She zooms into the picture, studying his smile, trying to see if there was any truth in it, or if everything was acting. She cannot understand. Tears fill her eyes again, not for losing him, but for losing the idea of him that she loved. That night, for the first time, she lets herself grieve not for the marriage, but for the version of herself that believed everything. On the final morning, Maya wakes early. Today everything changes. Mrs. Sterling wears a beautiful black dress, diamond necklace shining cold light, her face overloaded with confidence that smells like victory. Daniel wears a suit, looking like a man who will soon be free. Servants decorate the hall, preparing tea sets for the HOA committee, making the event look like a celebration instead of a breakup. The legal representative arrives, HOA members arrive, neighbors from elite families arrive, smiling like they are watching a show. Maya walks slowly down the stairs wearing a plain white dress. Simple cotton, not silk, no jewelry except small earrings. But she looks different. Her eyes are steady, her posture strong, her face peaceful. Everyone looks at her thinking she surrendered. They whisper, "Poor girl, she will leave quietly. Mrs. Sterling is too powerful," not knowing they are watching a lion wearing a white dress. She enters the dining hall and sits at the table between Daniel and the legal officer. The divorce papers are placed in front of her. Mrs. Sterling smiles a victory smile, like the game is already over. Daniel looks ahead, not at Maya. The lawyer explains the terms, reading lines Maya already memorized. The room is silent except for official voices. Everyone watches her hand. Her fingers move toward the pen. Her heart beats like a drum that echoes everything she went through: insult, betrayal, loneliness, but also everything she discovered: truth, strength, legal protection. She takes the pen and signs her name slowly, 1 curve at a time, her hand steady like steel covered in silk. She signs the last page. Everyone breathes out. Mrs. Sterling leans back with satisfaction. The legal officer flips the papers to confirm. And then everything stops. His voice changes, his eyes open wider. He looks at Mrs. Sterling, confused, and begins reading out loud the inheritance clause from the grandfather's will. In agreement with Sterling Family Property Transfer Act, the legal wife of the grandson is the rightful heir to Sterling Mansion upon official divorce. Gasps fill the room. Silence turns into thunder. Confusion turns into fear. Maya sits with her hands in her lap, calm, and Mrs. Sterling's victory smile dies while still on her lips. The room freezes like someone turned the air into glass. Nobody breathes, nobody moves, nobody understands what they just heard. The legal officer holds the paper in his shaking hands and reads the sentence again slowly so every person in the room feels the weight of the words like a hammer falling on their pride. The Sterling mansion and land, including all attached property, will transfer to the legal wife of the grandson upon official divorce. His voice is sharp because it is truth. It cannot be edited or denied. It is final. Mrs. Sterling's face loses color like blood left her body. Her lips part but no sound comes out. Her eyes shake with shock, fear, disbelief, like she is watching her own empire collapse in the middle of her celebration. Daniel turns his head slowly toward Maya like he is seeing a ghost wearing a white dress, his mind breaking into pieces trying to understand how the woman he wanted to erase just became the owner of his entire life. The HOA committee members look at each other, whispering, their faces full of shock. Some cover their mouths, some try to read the papers themselves. Some stand halfway then sit again because their legs shake. The neighbors who came to enjoy a beautiful rich drama suddenly look like they watched lightning strike inside the mansion. Maya sits with her hands in her lap, posture straight, eyes quiet, her heartbeat steady not because she is not afraid but because she prepared for this moment every minute since the night she found the document in the drawer. She learned in silence how to control her tears, how to control her breath, how to control her face when her heart is on fire. She learned how to turn her pain into power without screaming. Mrs. Sterling stands up suddenly, her chair falls behind her making loud sound. Her voice cracks like broken glass. This is a lie. This cannot be legal. My father-in-law never signed such nonsense. She tries to grab the papers from the legal officer but he steps back, his face firm, his voice professional. This document is notarized. It is archived in the county property record. It is valid. Mrs. Sterling's mouth opens and closes like she cannot find oxygen. Her hands shake as she points at Maya. You stole this. You made this. You tricked us. Her voice is loud but weak, like a scream from someone drowning. Maya looks up slowly, her eyes shining with calm anger, her voice soft but sharper than a knife. I did not create your grandfather's signature. I only read it. The sentence falls on Mrs. Sterling like a slap from truth itself. The room remains silent except for the sound of her heavy breathing. Daniel finally speaks, voice shaking with panic. Maya, how did you know about this? Where did you find it? His voice is not angry, it is terrified, because he realizes everything he planned just turned into a trap for his own family. Maya keeps her eyes on the papers, not looking at his face, in a drawer. Next to the gift your mother gave me. Her words are slow, controlled, heavy like stones. Everybody in the room understands the meaning. The divorce papers and the inheritance document lived in the same drawer. Destiny was sitting next to humiliation. Mrs. Sterling tries to speak again but her voice breaks into pieces. She sits down slowly like her legs cannot carry the weight of her pride anymore. Daniel holds his head with both hands, his body shaking with regret or fear or both. The legal officer continues reading, his voice forcing reality into the room. Upon divorce, all control of Sterling Mansion, attached assets, and inherited land passes to Maya Sterling. Daniel Sterling and Victoria Sterling lose all ownership rights. They may reside only with the legal owner's permission. People gasp again. The words are brutal. They take everything from the two people who tried to take everything from Maya. Mrs. Sterling looks around the room, looking for support, looking for anyone to save her. But nobody moves. Nobody wants to stand with a woman who just lost everything in 1 second. Nobody wants to fight for a queen who has no crown now. The same friends who praised her yesterday look away today. Some even start judging her quietly. She didn't know her own will. She tried to destroy her daughter-in-law. This is karma. The whispers are like spiders crawling all around the room. Maya sits completely silent, her silence louder than 1,000 screams. She feels her heart beating like a drum inside her chest, but she shows nothing on her face. She keeps her eyes down because she knows the moment she stands, the game ends. Daniel leans toward her slowly, voice broken. You planned this. Maya finally looks at him, her eyes filled with sadness heavier than anger. Sadness of someone who loved deeply and realized the love was used against her. I planned to survive, she says. The legal officer asks Maya to sign one more small signature confirming she read the will. She signs without shaking. The officer stamps the papers with a loud sound. One stamp that destroys one empire and creates another. He looks at the room, voice clear. The divorce is complete. Maya Sterling is now the legal owner of the Sterling estate. Mrs. Sterling closes her eyes like she felt a knife inside her chest. Daniel collapses back into his chair, his face pale, his future erased in 1 minute. Maya stands up slowly, her hands touching the table as she rises like a mountain rising after an earthquake. Every person in the room stares at her now. The same woman they thought was weak. The same woman they insulted. The same woman they believed would leave quietly with a broken heart. She looks at the legal officer, thanks him softly, then turns to the HOA board, her voice quiet but steady. "Thank you for witnessing this process." She turns to leave, but the HOA president suddenly speaks, a woman in her late 50s who watched the whole drama silently, her voice respectful. "Maya, do you want to make a public statement?" Maya stops, thinking for a moment. She looks back at Daniel and Mrs. Sterling, both broken, both small now, and her heart feels a mix of emotions. Anger, justice, betrayal, but also something painful. Sorrow for a love that died. Sorrow for a dream that turned into a nightmare. She turns to the HOA president, shakes her head gently, her voice calm. "No. I didn't win for the world. I won for myself." These words hit every heart in the room. She walks toward the exit slowly, each step heavy like her entire past is walking behind her. Each step powerful like her entire future is waiting in front of her. People move away from her path with respect, not fear. Respect for a woman who fought quietly and won loudly. But when she reaches the door, she stops. Something inside her tells her this is not the end. This is only the beginning. She knows there are deeper secrets hidden inside this family, darker truths under the surface of this beautiful mansion. She turns around slowly and looks at Mrs. Sterling. "Why did you want the divorce now? Not last year. Not next year. Why today?" Her question cuts the air like lightning. Mrs. Sterling looks at her with eyes full of defeat, her voice too weak to be cruel now. You were an obstacle." Maya tilts her head slightly. "Obstacle to what?" Mrs. Sterling closes her eyes. 2 tears fall from the corners. Tears Maya never thought she would see on that face. Tears that come not from love but from losing power. Her voice comes out like a whisper being dragged through pain. "Daniel needs to marry someone powerful, for the HOA, for business, for our name. You are not useful. Your family is nothing. You came with love, and love has no value in this world." The honesty slips out of her mouth without control because the pain destroyed her mask. The room goes silent again. Daniel looks at his mother shocked. He was controlled like a puppet, and now even the puppet master is broken. Maya stands there for a long moment, her heart hurting again because hearing it hurts more than understanding it alone. She whispers softly, "You destroyed everything that was real, for something fake." Mrs. Sterling looks away, unable to face her. Maya turns and walks out. Her eyes fill with tears, but she does not let them fall until she reaches outside, until sunlight touches her skin like comfort. The moment the door closes behind her, she allows herself to breathe again. She allows a silent tear to fall because she didn't just win an estate. She lost a love. She lost Daniel, not today, but from the day his silence became his answer. Outside the mansion, reporters wait with cameras ready, asking questions, pushing mics in her face. Maya does not speak. She simply raises her hand and walks through them, her silence giving more power than any speech. She sits in the back seat of the car that came for her lawyer beside her, the papers safe in her bag like a shield. As the car drives away, Maya looks out the window at the mansion shrinking behind her, and she thinks of the days she cried inside those walls, the nights she begged life to change, the mornings she tried to win hearts that were already sold to pride. Now she leaves with dignity, with truth, with power she never wanted, but she earned through pain. The lawyer leans forward gently, voice soft. "Maya, now you can expose everything." Maya wipes one tear and shakes her head slowly, her voice shaky but wise. "Not yet. If I break them today, they will become victims. People will forget their cruelty. I need the truth to come out slowly. I want them to feel what I felt. Silence, isolation, doubt." The lawyer nods with respect, understanding the depth of the pain. Later that night, Maya sits alone in the guest apartment the lawyer arranged for her temporarily. She looks at the divorce papers again, not with sadness now, but with reflection. The silver box that was meant to break her became a box full of power. She opens her diary and starts writing every detail of the last year. Every insult, every conversation, every lie, not to hurt them, but to protect herself if they attack again. She knows the Sterling family will not accept defeat easily. She knows the story is not over. She knows Mrs. Sterling will try something dangerous to regain power. She remembers the HOA charity ball next week. The event where they planned to announce Daniel's future marriage. The event where they planned to erase her existence publicly. Maya closes the diary, her eyes burning with new fire. She whispers to herself in dark room, "Everything they planned for me, I will turn into something they cannot control." She lies down on the bed, the moonlight touching her face through the window, and her body relaxes for the first time in months. She feels pain, but she also feels power. She feels alone, but she also feels alive. She feels broken, but she also feels rebuilt. Maya falls asleep with one truth inside her heart. The divorce did not end her life, it saved her life. Morning comes heavy like clouds full of rain. The world outside moves normal, cars on the street, neighbors walking dogs with fake smiles, gardeners trimming roses to look perfect. But inside Maya's heart nothing is normal, everything is sharp, everything is loud even in silence. She wakes in the small apartment the lawyer arranged. Sunlight touching the white curtains softly like a gentle reminder the world continues even when your life breaks into two pieces. She sits up slowly, her body feels tired but her mind is alert. Her mind is a map now, every thought a path, every memory a weapon, every pain a tool. She drinks water and stares at the wall, replaying every word from yesterday. Mrs. Sterling's confession that love has no value. Daniel's silence breaking his own soul. The legal stamps sound like a bullet hitting the crown of the Sterling family. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. Today is not revenge. Today is survival. She knows the family is not done. She knows Mrs. Sterling will not accept losing. She knows Daniel will sit between his guilt and his mother like a man drowning between two different waters. She knows the HOA will watch her every move now, waiting to see if the new owner of the Sterling estate is a threat or a weak girl invisible behind big walls. Maya stands and walks to the small desk where she placed the diary full of notes. Not angry notes, but cold notes, dates, facts, secret recordings, screenshots. She opens the diary and reads her own writing from months ago. Her handwriting shaking back then. Now the same letters look like steel. The lawyer texts her, "HOA wants a meeting today. They want to verify property details." Maya feels no fear now, she feels clarity. She replies, "I will attend." She gets dressed, not in silk, not in glitter, but in a simple grey kurta with soft embroidery like the one her mother stitched for her long before marriage. No jewelry except small earrings, hair tied, face clear. She looks at herself in the mirror and sees a woman she knows now, not something designed by someone else. She picks her bag, puts the property document inside, the diary, her phone with recordings, everything she needs if today becomes a battlefield again. When she arrives at the HOA headquarters, the building feels taller, colder, cleaner than yesterday, like it washed its face after watching a fight without touching the blood. Maya walks inside, people stare, whisper, some with respect, some with jealousy, some with fear because her silence now has weight. In 1 year she became invisible. In 1 day she became the most powerful woman in the HOA without raising her voice once. The reception woman stands quickly, her voice soft like she is speaking to royalty, "Mrs. Sterling," then pauses, correcting herself, "Maya, please come this way." That one change of name contains history. Maya enters the conference room, lights bright, table long, empty chairs waiting like mouths ready to bite. The HOA president sits at the head, lawyers on one side, board members on the other, and on the opposite side, Mrs. Sterling and Daniel. They came early, hoping to control the meeting, not knowing they have no control anymore. Mrs. Sterling looks tired, makeup heavy to hide the crash in her eyes. Daniel looks smaller, shoulders bent, like everything he believed fell on him in the night. Maya walks to her chair slowly, sits without looking at them. The HOA president clears her throat, her voice neutral but curious, "Thank you all for coming. We need to confirm the legal transfer and discuss future management of the Sterling estate." Her eyes move to Maya. "You are now the legal owner. What are your plans?" The room waits like it expects Maya to brag, to celebrate, to punish, to show anger. But she has no anger in her voice now. She speaks calmly, choosing words like a doctor choosing tools. I plan to run the estate with transparency, she says. I will not sell it. I will not destroy it. I will make it open for community events. And I want an audit of the renovation funds used last year. The room shakes a little at the last line. Audit means truth. Truth means danger for the people who misused HOA money. Mrs. Sterling stiffens. Daniel looks away. The HOA lawyers exchange looks because they already heard rumors of illegal fund use. But nobody dared to point finger at the Sterling family. The president nods slowly, impressed by Maya's maturity. That is reasonable. But before she continues, Mrs. Sterling stands suddenly, her hands shaking with a mixture of rage and fear, her voice breaking but loud enough to fill the room. This woman stole my life. She trapped my son. She found a document nobody knew. This is not justice. This is manipulation. Her scream is pain but also pride trying to survive. Everyone watches her. Maya stays quiet for 3 seconds, letting the scream echo then die. Then she looks directly at her, not with hate but with clarity, the kind that comes from truth, her voice soft but strong enough to cut through noise. You gave me divorce papers like a gift. You believed I would leave with nothing. You believed I was small. The only thing I did was read a paper your husband signed to protect women like me. The truth in that sentence hits everyone, even Daniel, whose eyes fill with tears slowly because he remembers his grandfather, remembers how kind he was to him, remembers his values, remembers he believed in fairness, not arrogance. Shame mixes with sorrow inside him. His voice comes out shaking. Mom. Grandfather loved this family. He wanted to protect it, not destroy it. But Mrs. Sterling snaps back like thunder. He wanted to protect the name, not give everything to a girl who came with nothing. Silence. Maya closes her eyes for a moment. Those words cut deeper than yesterday because they reveal the real injury. Not divorce, not property, but humiliation. The idea that love and kindness meant nothing to this family. But when she opens her eyes again, there is no pain, only strength. She says one sentence, steady like a stone. You think coming with nothing means being nothing. But I came with everything you don't understand. The president intervenes, her voice serious. Mrs. Sterling, this meeting is not about feelings. It is about law. Please sit. Slowly, Mrs. Sterling sits, breathing heavily, her eyes red. The president turns to Maya again. To continue, we need to verify financial records. There are concerns about HOA funds used for private renovations in your mansion. Daniel looks shocked. He didn't know this detail, and his mother tries to hide it. But one board member speaks up, voice firm. We saw invoices paid from HOA development accounts. Mrs. Sterling's face turns white, the truth pushing through walls like water flooding a room. Maya speaks gently. I request a full audit. The president nods and marks it in record. And then everything changes in one small moment. A lawyer asks, Maya, do you want the Sterlings removed from the property immediately? The question hangs in the air like lightning. Everyone expects yes, expects revenge, expects her to kick them out the way they tried to kick her from her life. Even Mrs. Sterling's breath stops. Daniel looks at Maya with wet eyes full of guilt, regret, maybe hope that she shows mercy. Maya looks at both of them, seeing not two enemies, but two broken people who believed power is everything. She shakes her head slowly, her voice soft but heavy with wisdom. No, I don't want to throw anyone out. The estate is not just walls. It has memories. Let them stay. But I will run everything. Finances, decisions, HOA interaction. Everyone in the room is shocked because they expected anger, not grace. The HOA president raises her eyebrows, surprised at her choice. You are being very generous. Maya smiles slightly. I am being fair. Fairness is stronger than revenge. Mrs. Sterling looks at her like she cannot understand this language. Like kindness is a code she never learned. She whispers to herself, why would you let her stay? Maya meets her eyes, her answer simple. Because I don't want to become you. Those words are the real victory. The meeting continues with details, signatures, dates, audit schedules. Maya answers everything calmly, never raising her voice. never showing her power like a weapon. She shows it like a responsibility. When the meeting ends, people stand to leave, heads filled with shock, respect, confusion. Some come to Maya quietly and whisper congratulations. Well done, you're strong. Not for winning a mansion, but for how she won. Maya walks out of the room. Daniel follows slowly and calls her name, voice heavy with emotion. Maya. She stops but doesn't turn around. His voice breaks. I was wrong. I let her control me. I hurt you. I destroyed us. I don't know how to fix anything. Maya closes her eyes, her emotions shaking inside. Because this is the boy she once loved, not the man she married. She speaks softly, without anger, without hate. You don't fix everything in one day. You start by owning what you did. He nods slowly, tears falling. She does not hug him. She does not comfort him. She walks away, giving him space to heal his own wounds without her. Outside the building, air feels lighter. Trees move gently with wind. Sunlight falls on her face like blessing. But the story is not finished, because she sees someone standing near the gate. A young woman dressed perfectly, expensive heels, expensive bag, makeup flawless, eyes sharp. She is looking at the HOA building like she expected a celebration. In her hand, she holds a small envelope with a wedding planner logo. She looks confused, then sees Maya walking out with lawyers, with board members showing respect. The woman's face changes, from confidence to confusion to jealousy. Maya realizes this is the woman Mrs. Sterling wanted for Daniel. New alliance, new power. Their whole plan was built on replacing love with business. The woman looks at Maya like she is trying to understand how someone so simple is walking out like a queen. Maya walks past her calmly, not giving her the war she came prepared for. That night, Maya returns to the apartment, sits on the balcony under the moon. She cries, not because she lost Daniel, but because she found herself. Her hands shake as she writes a new page in her diary. Power built on cruelty dies fast. Power built on fairness lasts forever. She closes the book and breathes slowly. She is not finished. She knows Mrs. Sterling will try something again. Pride does not die in one day. She knows Daniel will face his own battle inside his heart, between his mother and the truth he saw in Raya. She knows the HOA will begin digging for secrets. She knows the charity ball next week will be a battlefield of reputation. She doesn't sleep easily. But when sleep finally comes, it comes like soft waves, because she knows something deeper now. She didn't just change her story, she changed the Sterling legacy forever. The next 7 days feel like walking inside a quiet storm, nothing loud, nothing visible. But the air always heavy, the wind always strange, as if the world knows something big is coming but cannot speak it. Inside her small apartment, Maya lives simply, cooking her own meals, drinking tea while watching morning light change the color of curtains, writing carefully in her diary every night, recording not just facts, but lessons her pain taught her, about people, about silence, about power that doesn't shout. She stays calm like an ocean with waves hidden under still water. But inside the Sterling mansion, chaos builds like thunder trapped in walls. Mrs. Sterling does not leave her room for 2 days. Servants walk with soft steps because they fear the sharp sound of her anger hitting the floor. Daniel tries to talk to her through the door, begging her to stop planning something dangerous, but she does not listen to a son who failed her throne. She calls lawyers secretly, calls board members privately, tries to convince everyone Maya is a thief hiding behind a will, tries to find any hole in the document, any way to undo yesterday. But law is stronger than pride. The dead grandfather's signature is stronger than a living queen's scream. Every phone call ends with the same sentence, she is the owner now. Daniel walks through the mansion like someone moving inside a memory. Every wall reminds him of his grandfather's voice. Every room shows him the love his family lost, not because of Maya, but because of pride. He sits in the garden sometimes, looking at the flowers Lena planted years ago, remembering his childhood when his mother still had softness in her eyes, before HOA power turned her into someone who measures love by status. He thinks of Maya's silence, how she never fought his mother with words, how she tried to understand this world without changing herself. He hates himself for letting her cry alone behind locked doors. Day 3, Maya receives a call from the HOA president. Voice direct. Maya, the charity ball is in 4 days. It is the biggest event of the year. The whole community will attend. We think it is time you attend as the owner. Maya's heart beats slowly, her voice calm. I will come. The president adds, careful, Mrs. Sterling will also be there. Maya's silence on the call is louder than any answer. She ends the call and stares at the window. Outside everything looks peaceful. Birds singing, people walking dogs, children laughing. But Maya knows the charity ball will not be peace. It will be public war wearing diamonds. That night she opens her diary again. She writes a new sentence. A cruel person's last attack is always in public. She knows Mrs. Sterling will not hurt her privately anymore. She will try to hurt her image, her dignity, her name. Because pride fights hardest when everyone is watching. Maya closes the diary slowly, feeling her lungs heavy. She opens her phone, checks recordings. One audio file stands out. Mrs. Sterling's voice from months ago, insulting neighbors, talking about manipulating HOA votes, laughing about using HOA money for private pools. Maya saved it by accident. That day she forgot to lock her phone. Now it is her sharpest sword. But Maya's heart is not made for destruction. She doesn't want to destroy the Sterling family the way they tried to destroy her. Her revenge was done yesterday, taking the mansion with dignity. Everything else now is justice, not revenge. She decides she will only show truth. Not scream it, not twist it, simply show reality. Reality is enough. On the 4th day, she receives a message from Daniel, short, raw, his pain inside every letter. Can we talk before the ball? I need to apologize. Maya looks at the screen for a long time. Apology is beautiful, but apology without understanding is just a bandage on a deep wound. She replies, voice steady through text, we will talk at the ball. In front of truth. Because whatever he says in private can disappear like smoke, but what he says in front of truth becomes real. The day of the charity ball arrives like sunrise over battlefield, beautiful from distance, dangerous from inside. Maya dresses slowly. She chooses something that carries memory, not power. A simple deep blue dress, elegant but not loud, the kind of dress her mother would choose for her. Small pearl earrings, hair loose with gentle waves. No diamonds, no gold, nothing expensive. Because strength is not jewelry. Strength is the way you walk into a room full of people who wanted to erase you, and stand without shaking. She arrives at the mansion before the event begins. Standing outside the gate, she stares at the tall iron structure, remembers walking through it 1 year ago as a bride full of dreams, remembers walking through it months later with empty eyes, remembers walking out yesterday as someone reborn. Now she walks in again, not as guest, not as wife, but as owner. Inside, decoration is perfect, crystal lights, silk curtains, white roses everywhere. The air smells like expensive perfume mixed with fear. Servants walk fast, voices low. HOA members stand in clusters whispering. When Maya enters the ballroom, conversations stop. Eyes turn like planets orbiting the brightest star. People look at her not with pity anymore, not with gossip, but with curiosity. The quiet girl who defeated an empire without shouting. She walks straight, every step slow, controlled, her spine straight like she carries invisible crown. Daniel stands near the stage, wearing black suit, looking at her like he is seeing a memory that hurts and heals at the same time. He takes a step toward her. His lips open to speak, maybe apology, maybe regret. But before any word comes out, the crowd changes direction. Mrs. Sterling enters. She walks through the ballroom wearing a gown stitched with silver like moon trapped in fabric. Diamonds heavy on her neck, her hair perfect, her eyes sharp like knives. She smiles, but not at people, at the cameras, because she knows image is more powerful than reality here. She looks at Maya for 1 second. That second is a war. 2 eyes meet, one full of pride hiding pain, one full of pain transformed into power. They do not speak. Their silence speaks history. The HOA president begins her speech, about charity, about community, about unity. The crowd applauds politely. The evening continues, music soft, people pretending happiness, laughter floating like bubbles with no meaning. But inside the ballroom everything is tension. The kind honey cannot hide. Senators, business partners, HOA board members, all waiting to see what will happen between the dethroned queen and the quiet owner. After dinner ends, the president takes the microphone again. Before we start the donation session, we would like to welcome the new legal owner of the Sterling estate to say a few words. The room erupts into applause, not loud, but heavy. Maya walks toward the stage slowly, but she feels her heart beating hard, like every step echoes all the pain she walked in 1 year. She takes the microphone. The room becomes silent like someone cut the sound from the world. She breathes once. Her voice comes out calm, steady, not emotional, not shaking, full of truth. Thank you for welcoming me. I came here 1 year ago as a bride. Today I stand as owner. Both are part of my life, part of my journey. I want to say something simple, not about money, not about property, but about dignity. People lean forward. Even champagne glasses stop moving. In this community, image is everything. But sometimes image hides pain. Sometimes the biggest houses have the biggest secrets. And sometimes the quietest person carries the loudest truth. Her eyes move slowly toward Mrs. Sterling, not attacking, not insulting, just looking. Mrs. Sterling's jaw tightens. I want transparency, Maya continues. So today, I request an open audit of all HOA funds spent on the Sterling estate in the last 2 years. And I request that every family here knows where their money went. This is not revenge. This is respect for everyone who trusts this community. People murmur, shocked. Some nod in agreement. Some look scared. Daniel freezes. Mrs. Sterling stands slowly, her voice shaking with controlled anger. You are humiliating us in front of everyone. Maya looks at her, her eyes soft enough to hurt. Truth is not humiliation. Lies are. The room explodes into whispers, some supportive, some shocked, some confused. The HOA president speaks quickly. We agree to audit. This is necessary. Her voice is strong, because she knows Maya just forced a new era without shouting. Mrs. Sterling moves 1 step forward, voice low, dangerous. You think you won because of a document? You have no power without this place. You are still nothing without this name. Maya feels that sentence in her bones, the same belief that made her cry alone. But today she answers with strength that pain taught her. She looks at the entire room, not at Mrs. Sterling. A name is nothing if it is built by hurting people. A house is nothing if the walls are made of fear. And power is nothing if it comes from breaking someone's dignity. Silence. Heavy. Deep. Daniel steps forward now, voice broken, eyes full of tears that finally fall without shame. Maya. I'm sorry. The entire room gasps. A Sterling apologizing publicly? Impossible. But his voice continues, raw like truth pulling itself out of his heart. I let my mother control my life. I hurt you. I didn't protect you. You deserved love, not a battlefield. I understand now. He turns to the crowd, tears falling like confession. She didn't win by taking the house. She won by staying human. The audience breathes deeply. Some begin to clap. Slowly. Then louder. Then entire room stands, applauding not property, not power, but dignity. Maya's eyes fill with tears, not heavy tears of grief, but soft tears of closure. Mrs. Sterling stands alone, pride broken like glass on marble. She looks around. The people she controlled for years are not looking at her now. They are looking at the woman she tried to erase. Maya turns to her, voice gentle. So gentle it hurts. You wanted to destroy me publicly today. But truth showed itself. If you ever want peace, it will not come from control. It will come from understanding love. Those words pierce deeper than any insult could. Because they show the real wound. Mrs. Sterling never learned love the way Maya carries it. The charity ball continues, but the war is over. The queen has fallen, not by attack, but by truth. The crowd walks to Maya, congratulating her with respect. Daniel stands silently beside stage, crying for the woman he lost, crying for the man he became, crying for the future that died in arrogance. Maya walks out of the ballroom alone after the applause ends, her footsteps echoing on marble. The night air outside is cold, stars sharp and bright like they are celebrating her freedom. She sits on the stone steps of the mansion, looking up, breathing the world like it belongs to her for the first time. A tear falls, not from pain, from release. Night is quiet outside the Sterling mansion, quiet like nothing happened, quiet like the world returned to normal after the charity ball applause. But inside the house the silence is different. It is the silence of broken pride, sharp like glass hidden under carpet. Maya sits on the cold stone stairs outside, hugging her arms, breathing slow. The stars above her bright like truth shining over darkness, her heart heavy from everything she said and everything she heard. She doesn't feel happiness, she doesn't feel victory. She feels the weight of a year of pain leaving her body slowly. She feels tired more than anything, the kind of tired that comes from fighting without shouting. Inside the ballroom, shadows move, people leave one by one. Their perfume smell floating in the air like memory. The charity ball was supposed to be Mrs. Sterling's moment to erase Maya, to introduce Daniel's new future, to show the HOA that power never leaves her house. Instead, it became Maya's moment, not because Maya wanted revenge, but because truth stood brighter than diamonds. Daniel said sorry in front of everyone. The board agreed to audit the estate. Even the women who used to laugh at Maya came to shake her hand. Mrs. Sterling left early, head high, eyes empty, walking like a queen who lost her castle but still carries the crown in her mind. Hours pass. Maya sits alone. Cold wind touches her hair gently. She doesn't move until she hears soft footsteps behind her. It is Daniel. He stands 2 steps away, afraid to sit beside her, afraid to break her peace, afraid to break more than he already broke. His voice is soft, broken. "Can I sit?" Maya doesn't look at him, but she nods once. Daniel sits slowly, his hands shaking like he is nervous to be near someone he hurt deeply. He looks at the stars instead of her face, because her face might show the truth he fears, that she doesn't love him now. He speaks, his voice heavy like confession. "You were the only person who never wanted anything from me. Everyone around me always wanted something. Power, name, position. You only wanted love. And I threw that gift away." Maya listens without interrupting, her eyes still on the sky. Daniel continues, tears falling without shame now. "I thought obeying my mother was protecting the family. But I destroyed the family. Grandfather protected you without meeting you. And I failed you after living with you." Maya finally turns her head, her eyes calm like quiet water, her voice soft. "You didn't fail me yesterday. You failed me the day you chose silence." Daniel closes his eyes, that sentence cutting deeper than any scream, because silence hurts more than words. Silence is betrayal done quietly. He whispers, voice shaking, "I don't want your forgiveness today. I want to apologize for every day you cried alone." Maya breathes deep, feeling tears prick her eyes, but she controls them, because love is not returning now, love is memory now. She answers gently, "You can heal yourself. But we cannot return to what we were. The damage is not 1 day, it is 1 year." Daniel nods slowly, accepting her truth, not fighting it. That acceptance makes Maya respect him for the first time in many months. They sit in silence, 2 broken hearts that will never join again but will stop hurting one another. After some time, Maya stands slowly, her body tired, her voice soft, "Good night, Daniel." He looks at her like looking at a goodbye he deserves. She walks away, leaving him on the stairs alone, head down, hands covering his face, finally crying not because he lost property, but because he lost love. Inside the mansion, lights are off, everything dark except one room, Mrs. Sterling's private study. Inside, she sits surrounded by papers, legal books, old photos, her hands shaking, her eyes red from crying silently, her face no longer queen-like, her hair messy, her diamond necklace still on her neck like a crown she refuses to remove even if the kingdom is burning. She looks at the old family portrait, her husband alive, Daniel as a boy smiling freely, her father-in-law sitting with gentle eyes. The same man who wrote the will that destroyed her pride. She whispers, voice broken, "He betrayed me. He betrayed tradition. He betrayed everything I built. But the picture does not answer. Her phone lights up, a message from a lawyer she hired privately. The message is dangerous. We can file an emergency petition claiming fraudulent signing. We must prove manipulation. Mrs. Sterling's eyes fill with a dark light. The dangerous kind. The kind people get when they destroy their own life for one last fight. She replies with one sentence, "Prepare everything by morning." She wipes her face and wakes the servants, ordering them to print documents, to arrange the car, to call her friends in the HOA secretly. She doesn't care about shame now. She only cares about one last attack. All night she works like a soldier preparing for war, not seeing that the war already ended yesterday and she is fighting ghosts. Her pride is louder than truth. Morning comes. The sky looks soft, birds sing, everything looks peaceful. But peace is only outside. Maya wakes with a strange feeling. The kind you get before something bad happens. The kind whisper of danger in your bones. She checks her phone, many messages from the HOA board. Mrs. Sterling filed an emergency motion in court claiming you manipulated the will. Maya's heart drops for one moment, not because she is afraid of losing property, but because she is afraid of being dragged back into a war she already ended with dignity. Her lawyer calls immediately, voice fast but controlled. She wants to reverse the transfer. She is using the argument that you found the will and influenced the signing. We must go to court. Maya feels sadness, not anger. Sadness that Mrs. Sterling's pride is more important than everything. More important than Daniel. More important than peace. More important than ending the pain. She dresses quickly, leaves the apartment, meets her lawyer. The court building is crowded. Cameras, people whispering, HOA members watching from corners. Maya walks inside with steady steps, her heart calm because she knows truth does not shake even if someone tries to push it. Inside the courtroom, she sees Mrs. Sterling sitting like a queen in a battlefield she already lost, wearing a cold smile like armor. Daniel sits behind her, eyes red, looking sick with guilt, like he knows this fight will not save anything. Mrs. Sterling's lawyer begins talking, loud, dramatic, trying to paint Maya as a manipulator, saying she used emotional trick to take property, saying she trapped Daniel in signing without understanding. Each word is poison against someone who suffered silently. Maya listens quietly, not interrupting, not reacting, her face calm like a river hiding depth. Her lawyer stands, not dramatic, not loud, and speaks with truth. Your Honor, this motion is not about fraud. It is about pride. Mrs. Sterling gifted divorce papers like a trophy. She expected Maya to be weak. But law protected her. The will was written by Mr. Henry Sterling, a respected man. I want the court to hear his real voice. Everyone looks confused. Real voice? The lawyer plays an audio recording from the old family archive, Henry Sterling speaking about the will years ago. My son will inherit my business, but my grandson's wife will inherit the family home. Because women suffer most when families fight. This house must protect the one who is most vulnerable. Silence hits the room like storm stopped mid-air. Mrs. Sterling's face collapses. Her father-in-law's voice destroys her argument more than any lawyer could. Daniel covers his face, crying silently. Maya looks down, tears filling her eyes too, not from victory, but from respect for a man she never met. A man who understood women more than the women of his house. The judge listens quietly, then speaks slowly, voice heavy. The will is clear. The motion is rejected. Final. Sharp. Heavy. Mrs. Sterling stands, screaming, losing all control for the first time in her life. She took everything. She took my son, my house, my name. The judge looks at her with calm eyes. You lost your house when you gave your son divorce papers to give his wife humiliation. You lost your name long before this court. And your son is still your son. But you forgot how to love him. The words break Mrs. Sterling more than losing property. She falls back into her seat, crying like she forgot how to breathe. Court ends. People leave quietly, whispering truth this time, not lies. Cameras follow Maya, but she does not speak. She touches her eyes, wiping tears, and walks outside. On the steps of the court, Daniel waits, alone. He looks at her with eyes full of pain, full of apology, full of acceptance. He whispers, "She is broken." Maya nods, voice soft. She was broken long before. Power only hid it. Daniel's tears fall again. "Thank you for not destroying us. Thank you for being better than us." Maya looks at him, her eyes warm but distant. "I didn't do it for you. I did it for myself. And for the girl I was, when I came here with dreams." Daniel understands. This is goodbye. Mrs. Sterling is taken home by servants, sobbing, holding a picture of her husband like he is the only truth left. She is not a queen now. She is a woman broken by the weight of her own cruelty. Maya walks down the court steps, each step lighter than the last, like every step is removing one stone from her heart. She looks at the sky. It is blue, wide, endless, the opposite of the walls she lived inside. Her lawyer asks softly, "What will you do now?" Maya breathes deeply. A small smile appears. "I will live. That is my victory." She returns to her small apartment, turns on the light, sits at her desk, opens her diary, writes the last line of this chapter. "Silence killed my love. Truth saved my dignity." She closes the book with tears, not painful tears, tears of freedom. Outside, the Sterling mansion stands tall, but everything inside it has changed. Power is gone, arrogance is gone, the crown is broken, the throne is empty. But the house is not ruined. It waits for something new, something honest. The sun rises slow the next morning, not bright, not loud, only soft like it knows someone cried the whole night. Maya wakes early in her small apartment, her mind still heavy from yesterday's court battle, her heart tired from carrying the weight of someone else's pride for so long, her body feeling strange because for the first time in 1 year, she is free and alone at the same time. The air is cold near the window. She touches the glass, feeling the world outside move without knowing her story. Cars driving, children getting ready for school, birds fighting for crumbs on the ground, all normal. Freedom always arrives quietly, without celebration. She makes tea slowly, her hands shaking not from fear anymore but from everything leaving her body. Pain, disappointment, love she carried, love she lost. She sits at the table with the cup in her hand, staring at the steam rising like a small dream leaving reality. She opens her diary one last time. The first pages are angry tears, broken sentences, questions without answers, drawings of a life she hoped to live. The middle pages are plans, recordings, documents, truth protected in ink. The last page waits. She touches it gently. She writes, "I wanted love. I found truth. Truth hurt me. Truth saved me." Her eyes fill. She closes the diary like closing a chapter of her heart. A knock on the door breaks the silence. She wipes her face quickly, stands slowly, opens the door, and sees Daniel. He stands with a bouquet of white lilies, the same flowers Maya used to place on the dining table when she cooked silently to show love even when nobody cared. His eyes are swollen, his face tired, his hands shaking like he is holding apology like a heavy stone. He doesn't enter. He stays outside the door, his voice quiet. "I wanted to see you before I leave." Maya's eyebrows lift. "Leave?" Daniel nods, his voice broken. "I'm going away for some time. Maybe months. Maybe a year. I need to learn who I am without my mother's voice. I need to learn how to stand alone. I cannot do it here. Not in that house. Not near that pain." His voice is soft like confession. "I don't deserve forgiveness. But I want to apologize properly. Not as a son who acted like a child. As a man." Maya stands still, listening, her heart shaking because she loved him once with everything inside her. And that love did not die completely. It transformed into a bruise, deep, purple, painful, but not bleeding anymore. She takes a slow breath, eyes heavy. "Thank you for saying it. I hope you find yourself. The boy I married was beautiful. The man you become can be better." Daniel nods, tears falling quietly. "I hope one day, when people say my name, you don't feel pain." Maya looks down, whispering softly, "Maybe one day, it will be just a memory." He places the lilies at her door, looks at her one last time, his voice breaking. "Goodbye, Maya." She answers gently, "Goodbye, Daniel." They stand for 1 second, a second full of everything they were, everything they lost. Then he walks away. She closes the door slowly, rests her head against the wood, tears falling not from grief now, but from release. Later in the afternoon, her lawyer calls. HOA sent documents for the estate audit. They need access from the owner. Maya nods, collects her bag, and for the first time since the divorce, she drives to the Sterling mansion as the real owner. When she arrives, the security guard stands straighter, his voice respectful, "Welcome home, Maya walks through the gate, every step echoing the memory of her walking here as a bride 1 year ago. Same stones, same flowers, but different heart. Inside, servants are quiet, unsure how to greet her. One woman who used to ignore Maya now bows slightly. "Good afternoon, madam." Maya smiles kindly. "Please don't call me madam. Call me Maya." The servant's eyes fill with gratitude. Respect feels better when it comes from humility. She walks through the halls, the dining table where she received divorce papers like a gift, the hallway where she cried behind closed doors, the bedroom where she prayed for love, the study room where she found the will that changed everything. She stands there again, in front of the drawer that gave her truth. Her fingers touch the wood slowly, and tears fall. Not angry tears, but grateful tears, grateful that one small paper saved her soul. She whispers to herself, "Thank you, Henry Sterling," her voice shaking, because she knows a man she never met understood her pain without seeing her life. As she stands in quiet memory, she hears soft coughing behind her. She turns. Mrs. Sterling stands at the door. Not a queen now, not an enemy now, only a tired woman, her eyes swollen from nights without sleep, her body smaller without pride, her face empty without diamonds on her smile. She holds a folded paper in her hand. For a moment, both women say nothing. They look at each other like mirrors, two lives broken by the same house in different ways. Maya imagined this moment many times, imagined shouting, imagined anger, imagined revenge. But now, seeing Mrs. Sterling standing like a mother who lost more than property, Maya feels something unexpected, mercy. Mrs. Sterling steps slowly into the room, her voice shaking like glass ready to fall. "Everything I built is gone. My reputation. My name. My friends." She laughs once, bitter. They were not friends. They were mirrors. Her eyes fill with tears she tries to hide, her voice weak. "You won, Maya. You took everything." Maya shakes her head gently. "No, I didn't take anything. You gave everything away, for power." Mrs. Sterling looks at her, tears falling finally, heavy, unstoppable. "I don't know how to love. I only know how to protect. And I protected the wrong things. I lost my son. I lost myself." Maya's eyes soften, not because she forgot the pain, but because she understands pain when she sees it. She walks closer, her voice low. "I didn't want your house. I wanted your respect. One day, in that kitchen, you could have said one kind sentence. Everything would be different today." Mrs. Sterling breaks completely, tears flowing like years of pride melting, her voice cracking in pieces. "I was jealous of you. You came with nothing, and my son loved you more than the world I built." That truth hurts Maya and heals her at the same time, jealousy disguised as cruelty. Mrs. Sterling extends the paper in her trembling hand. "This is my resignation from HOA. I have no right to lead anyone. I lost my moral right long ago." Maya takes the paper slowly, her hand touching the hand of the woman who destroyed her life. Their fingers shake the same way. Two hands that once hurt each other are now holding a truth. Then Maya does something nobody expects. Not the servants, not Daniel, not the HOA, not the world. She hugs her. A soft, short, trembling hug. Not love, not forgiveness, but humanity. Mrs. Sterling collapses into her arms like someone crying into a pillow for the first time in her life. Maya holds her, her voice soft in her ear. "Cycle ends here. No more hurting to feel powerful." For the first time in months, Mrs. Sterling cries like a child. Loud, open, painful, letting everything fall. Years of pride, arrogance, fear, pressure, expectation, all leaving her body in a flood. Maya's tears fall too, because holding someone who destroyed you heals something deeper. Your belief that you are stronger than hate. After the hug, Mrs. Sterling steps back, wiping her face with shaking hands. Why are you kind to me? Maya whispers, because I refuse to become you. The room feels warm suddenly, like the house itself took a breath. Later, they sit in the garden quietly, two women sharing silence. Maya says, you can stay in the mansion. I will not throw you out. But not as queen. As family. Mrs. Sterling's eyes widen. She did not expect kindness after cruelty. Her voice breaks. I don't deserve it. Maya answers gently, nobody deserves mercy. That's why it is powerful. In the following weeks, the Sterling house changes. Not the walls, hearts. HOA audit reveals misuse, but Maya doesn't push criminal charges. She asks the family to return funds through charity for women who suffer in silence inside rich families. News spreads everywhere, not about scandal, but about transformation. Mrs. Sterling attends therapy quietly. She learns slowly how to express emotion, how to listen without controlling, how to speak without hurting. Daniel writes letters to Maya from abroad, telling her about his journey, about mistakes, about growth. He signs the last one with one line, I want to become the man you told me I can be. Maya reads it with a soft smile, not a romantic smile, a proud smile. And Maya builds something new, a community foundation inside the estate for women from rich families who suffer silent abuse, emotional manipulation, respectlessness hidden under luxury. She calls it the Silent Wife Initiative. HOA members are shocked. They expected a queen on the throne. They got a leader in the heart. People talk about her everywhere. She won everything and chose kindness. Her silence broke a legacy. Her mercy changed a family. And Maya sits in her room at night, reading her old diary pages, seeing the girl she was and the woman she became. She closes the diary forever and puts it in a box, like the silver box that once held her humiliation. Now it holds her victory. One evening, she stands on the balcony, watching sunset touch the roof of the estate she never chased, listening to the quiet laughter from the garden. Mrs. Sterling talking gently with servants, practicing new softness, trying new words. Maya hears something she never thought she would. Mrs. Sterling saying, thank you to a maid. Maya smiles, tears in her eyes, power changed hands. But more importantly, hearts changed shape. She whispers to the wind, revenge ends pain. Mercy ends the cycle. And for the first time, she truly believes she is free.